That is one big pilot.
For a modern gaming audience.
Why are you running?
Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
We're communists.
Woke.
Would you please get your politics out of my comic books? I'm like, what comic books are you reading?
I'm cured! Praise God!
He evaded!
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
For a modern gaming audience.
If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble.
Welcome to Nerd Wars. Sorry about that. Welcome to Nerd Wars.
Please clap.
Welcome indeed. Price has
I
joined us.
don't see gray ring around Price. He's loud clapping. Oh, there we go.
There he is. All right, it's mandatory. All right, we'll let it slide like 2 streams, but at a certain point, we might need the webcam just to prove the clapping.
Buzz kill.
Absolute pleasure to be. Oh, okay, good.
It was a spiritual clap.
Uh-huh.
This is your first warning, mods. Time him out next time.
You ain't clapping hands, you're clapping cheeks.
Something was really bothering me. I'm looking at chat and I'm seeing Warren of Bly is a gray.
There's a lot of grays.
ABF's channel's under attack, so he hasn't been able to do gifties, so I'm seeing some grays now. And I was going to make a whole big stink about it. Sons and Shadows dropped that gifty before, and he got Bly with it. Ah! Take that, Bly, you dirty gray!
Gifted my own channels just because I was tired of seeing these grays. It's a sad time right now. I don't know why YouTube has attacked ABF and his magnificent self.
This close to making Bly a mod, just so I didn't have to see the dirty grayness. Badger, how you doing today?
I'm great. Got a great night's sleep. I went to sleep right after watching Agatha and Rings of Power back to back. Shout out, Gatekeeper. Shout out.
Oh, yeah, you're having a great day despite watching Rings of Power?
It's great. I loved it. Every minute of it. It's the reason I get up in the morning. Price.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
how are you?
Did you get up and watch Rings of Power?
Yes. I watched. Rings of Power is really tough. It's so tough to watch that show. I think that people don't appreciate what an effort it is to have to sit and watch it.
I'm like, okay, I'm not going to write any notes because else will take too long. And I made it about 10 minutes and then I made my first note and then I filled up the post-it note and then I filled up my second post-it note and then I filled up my third and I left off so much stuff.
Hold on.
We're going to have some commentary today.
Until I start having prolonged conversations with you about my bowel movements and how much fiber I'm getting.
How's the weather for you today, Badger?
And the weather too.
Price of milk? Price of gas?
Expensive. Everything moves too fast. I sit on my porch and shake my hand and yell at the clouds. Oh, sorry, that's a good one. I forgot.
Yes. All right. So we have some pre-stream legends. Not only did Sons and Shadows start off by sniping Bly, we got Tomac dropping a 50. So Erwin, I hope you guys like the bit of Fate Trigger. And then that's the moment when I go, all right, this is going to be a Tomac super chat. I'm going to have to Google search. But I'm like, I vaguely remember this. I showed you after the suffering yesterday. I hope the rest of you can get sent code so we can form a squad. All right. So I know it's a game. Fate Trigger. I'm guessing anime. And I would be guessing correctly. Currently release date to be announced. But this is... Oh, is this the... Tactical Shooter Unreal... Okay, no, wait, is this Battle Royale? Because he's been talking about, yeah, oh my god, this is anime Fortnite. Oh my god, yeah, okay, it's anime Fortnite.
I wasn't going to play it, but this seems appropriate.
I don't care about oxygen. I need boobies, nothing more.
It seems like boobies
is
what this
game
game
the physics. Look at those physics. People were complaining about the Lollipop Chainsaw not having the physics. We got the physics, yes. Yeah. Just for you, Price.
Shout out Gatekeeper.
Looks okay.
Yeah, it looks great.
It's one of those situations where it might not be the best, but it will probably have a very loyal and passionate fan base that will give it an absurd amount of money because pretty anime girls. Just give us what we want. And most of us just want pretty anime girls. What we don't want is a coven of lesbian witches, for fuck's sake.
Cancel Disney Plus. Oh, isn't that nice for the lesbian coven of witches that got to drink wine last night and tell secrets? It was truly a wine mom episode.
The second they had the wine glass, I'm just like, no, they didn't. Are the cats about to come out too? Price, any preliminary thoughts on Agatha all along? Did you watch it?
It's kind of like a bottleneck episode in that stupid house, but that's what all those Disney Plus shows are. I feel like no matter which, if it's the MCU or Star Wars, that's what they've all become. Somebody's stuck somewhere for 30 minutes, dumb crap happens, and then they leave to the next place, and then next week they'll be in the next spot.
Yeah, you can't help but wonder if a little bit of it is some like cost cutting. Some of these shows have been getting a little over budget, and it's like, hey, how about we have just like one set for every episode?
But even when they said that they needed hundreds of millions of dollars to produce them, they were still pretty much doing that. I just wonder where all the money went.
Yeah, exactly. And we obviously have all of our theories, with number one at the top being, a little embezzlement, a little
it went to the
laundering.
trans brunch that Catherine Hahn was talking about that they had. It went to obviously a beach house that they rented somewhere so they could get drunk on bad wine and film an episode.
All the rehearsals for the musical number they did
Might
for
be good if that
Comic-Con.
was true. Yeah.
And they came out on stage and sang songs.
I'll tell you what, I think that the way it works is that it's sort of embezzlement with a smile, in the sense that it's done in a way that's seemingly legit. Meaning, I have a background in entertainment, and I can tell you that in the past, I've been sort of privy to seeing how a production has line items. So they say, okay, we're going to give $10,000 for the catering. That they plan in advance, and they let, like, let's say a network know, or they have to have reports of how they're going to use all this money. I'm sure a lot of that stuff is inflated. I have to wonder what happens to some of that money.
Government contracts, the same thing happens. You get the $10,000 toilet seats and whatnot.
Right. So in some cases, I wonder if they're not padding it and then the production company doesn't pocket something. In the other case, the executive producers are taking a percentage of a lot of the budget in advance. There's a lot of ways around it where we're saying embezzlement, but for them, it's just business as usual. That's why when you saw in Japan, they did Godzilla -1, it cost them $15 million.
Less according to the director.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and that was because he was a expert in like VFX stuff. So they set up all the shots to make it as easy as possible for all the VFX guys, because he knew what he was doing. Whereas with like Marvel, or what we're learning with Joker Folie à Deux, they like just change everything at the last minute, all the studio notes. With Joker Folie à Deux, they're literally writing it before they do the scene. And then they'll just handle and fix all that in post-production. And then they get all the post-production, all these people work hard to get all that CG, and they're like, oh, well, we're going to reshoot it. Or, oh, we need this little change for all the CG, which is going to be a ton of stuff. And they all just save it all for the end, whereas the Godzilla -1 director was like, how about we just do everything at the beginning? We know what we're doing. We set everything up so it can be bing, bang, bomb, boom, whereas Marvel is more just clusterfuck.
The Godzilla -1 guy, he should have a school. He should start a school for filmmakers where he explains to people how to do economical and efficient filmmaking.
Yeah, because Hollywood certainly forgot. Badger, any thoughts?
Everyone knows that Disney Plus really runs slush funds for the Contra and CIA and run deep props, tier 1 operations at other governments.
I've got evidence of that. They're actually introducing anti-password sharing on Disney Plus, so get ready for those numbers to drop.
Yeah. John, he knew. He's the first one.
Boom.
We should actually have Alex on now, since he's not on anywhere else. Poor guy. He had to liquidate all his assets.
Well, working on it. Plus, there's fake news and stuff, so you never know. All right. So, does anyone at the top of their head know the Agatha budget?
No,
sometimes they don't even announce it, but let's see.
Okay. Oh, wait.
We wait for the British tax credit or whatever the hell documents come out.
Yeah. Were they saying 200 mil for all? Wait. Secondly watched. What did? Oh, no. Captain Marvel? Oh, okay. No, Paul Tassi.
People think it's 100 million.
100 mil. Okay.
But we don't know for sure. That's just
okay. We're all just guessing. Okay.
People are speculating in those trades that it could be 100 million. But you know what? You could do a whole lot more with $100 million. That episode, they're just standing around. It's shit.
What have they done? They had the Westview set. They had the road set, which is the same fucking road that they could just keep going back and forth on.
The candle store and
that exists probably.
Vagina Stone.
Yeah, and the beach house that probably just is a rented house. Like
fake candle.
What's the cost?
Spoiler alert: we found out the candles are not all natural.
Oh,
can you believe it? All right, so let's get right into it.
If you had to give a summary of this episode in a few sentences, could you even do it? What is it? They're stuck in a house.
I don't
Drunken
need
wine
words.
moms.
This picture right here is all I need.
Drunken wine moms tell secrets to escape trap house.
Yes.
It sounds just as bad as it was.
They finally decide to add some like random horror elements, which were like kind of good. If they lean that direction more, we could have something somewhat tolerable to watch. But instead it's just like super random and I didn't understand any of it. Reading the article, apparently that's like telling their backstories. That's what they were afraid of. So I did not pick that up at all while I was watching it. I was kind of confused what was going on. But slight flashes of actual trying, I guess.
Catherine had a moment when she saw the Darkhold.
Yeah, apparently she's traded her baby for the Darkhold. That's what that symbolized, I guess. Did not understand. I did not get that.
I'll tell you what I think. I think that they do too much mysteries. There's something called that I like to call carrot and the stick storytelling. That's very much a J.J. Abrams type of thing, like what he did with Lost, and then in everything else that he does, where it's all just a bunch of mysteries. They tease you with something. Mystery box. They tease you with something
in the middle of the island.
Right. So basically, all of these characters, rather than building real characters, give a story, show how they got together, do something thoughtful. Instead, it's like every episode they're going to give us a little hint as to what they were. So I don't really care. I don't know. I don't like that kind of storytelling. Just tell your story. I don't want to hear a hint about them each time.
I can live with some backstory, and I think it's an interesting way they're doing it. And they got each trial is a certain kind of witchcraftery, which is why they had to get the different witches with their different skills. Like this one's the potion witch, and that sort of story structure I'm actually fine with. They've been doing a terrible job of it so far.
I mean, the
It's
execution
literally
is
not
poor.
made for us. If it was guys and something different, we'd be fine with their backstories. We just don't care about any of these characters.
Being a new trial and stuff like that, like I can live with that sort of a storytelling. But instead, like this is what's going on in it, and that's a bit of a problem. Also,
I'll give you an example. In Age of Ultron, when they all have these kind of delusions, that's interesting. We already know the characters, and we're learning a little more, and it's interesting. But in this case, we were just introduced to these weirdos last week or whenever it was. I don't really know anything about them, and I don't care enough. They're not really satisfying any itch that I have by showing me that there's this one guy choking that other one in the sink, or the other lady that sees her mom. That's the guy
that took her power away, though, which it's like, okay, that's good, but I didn't get that at all. Did you guys realize that was what was happening?
Yeah,
I noticed that it was a white male that came to choke her.
That's what I got.
I realized they were all having personalized visions related to their fucking trauma or whatever it was. Yeah. It's a common narrative.
I don't know these characters well enough to care. If they would have had two characters that they really sold me on for a few episodes, and then each of them went through some weird process here, and we're learning more about them, I would have given it more respect. Somehow they just conjured up all those witches in a few minutes, and now I'm supposed to care?
Yes, but perhaps Price, since you do not have a vagine, as far as I'm aware, if you did, maybe you would have instant empathy and understanding of these strong women and what they're going through.
I hope for Disney that that's true, because they need somebody to watch this show and somebody to enjoy it. And we're watching it because this is what we do. But I don't know if regular people would continue to watch this.
100%.
They're probably going to stop the watch parties, the Agatha watch parties. I'm going to have to watch it another way, probably.
100%. No one would be watching this. It's on our end, men for sure. This is the She-Hulk. Whoever likes She-Hulk probably loves this shit.
Right.
Like the women that watch She-Hulk.
So, I do want to correct you. There is one character that is mildly in the tiniest bit, a little bit likable. I think they killed her off, though.
Oh yeah,
Mom
yes.
from that 70s show. Yeah.
Whoops.
The only thing I liked in the
Kitty.
episode, there was one sentence in the whole episode I liked when they arrived in the house and they're all like yelling or whatever, and then she yells and she's like, "Wow, this kitchen is to die for." So that one kind of got a half a smile from me because she's sort of clueless as to what's going on and she likes the kitchen. I don't know why that got a chuckle out of me. That was probably the only smirk I had throughout this entire episode, which was just torture to watch for me.
Yeah, they killed her.
Kara had a stroke while trying to talk about what she thinks, but
Rings of Power, I laughed like 4 or 5 times, like a hard laugh, like a good, like I probably released a bunch of endorphins, like I improved my health a little bit with how good these laughs were. But more on that later.
It is. It's Kitty from that 70s show. It's literally the same actress.
So
it's also
another
from Friends.
Apparently in the song, which they're going to be referencing, because they know from there that they all have to do the trial or something, but the teen doesn't have to do the trial for some.
He's underage. Thank God you're underage.
He can't drink,
that was said out
so
loud. Yeah.
So did you notice it was water filling up outside the house? Well, apparently in the song, there's some nonsense about like water and fire and like all the elements. So the thought is there will be other element-based trials
We should
later.
do a detailed breakdown. We should listen to that song over and over again and do a detailed breakdown for everyone of all the episodes, or we could just wait.
If it was done well, I don't mind that, you know? Like, I mean, Rings of Power, twice they've had songs, like, be part of, like, a secret. But if you do it right, like, I can live, like, as far as storytelling, I can see a good story being told that way, but it's Wine Mom so far, and then they get bad Botox at one point. I'll have to pull it up. Price. More thoughts? Let's see. Did this get your nether regions all fired up, Price? All this...
This is so
on this
dumb.
girl power.
And then they needed the blood of the virgin. Well, no, he's not a virgin. He's underage.
Yeah, the clean, or I don't even. Yeah, no. And she's like screwing up the ritual because apparently she was supposed to have someone else, but she grabbed her neighbor, the old woman, instead. So apparently that's the thing. I had to mark it down a half a point because I didn't even realize in the first episode when she is having, I thought she was like in her own little state and then she comes out of it and then she's herself. I didn't realize that she had been enacting her police drama, but like in real life.
Yeah.
And that like the interrogation room, like the painting was on there because that was like her living room or something. Like it was so fucking stupid and didn't make any sense how she could have done all that and everyone still treats her normal. I didn't even realize that's what happened.
She was under a spell.
Wanda trapped her in that spell, but it's mentioned that they all knew that. They were like giving her food and like just humoring her.
But I assume she was like NPCing out, and then in her mind she was doing the detective shit. But apparently she was doing all the like detective stuff, but like in real, they talked about on F&T, and I'm like, oh, that's. And then I took half a point off when I realized that. And that sums up all the backstory. I didn't even realize we were getting backstory with all the horror flashes. Apparently we were. We'll talk about it here in a moment. But man, sticking them in the like yuppie beach house, all in the like tennis sweaters and stuff. Like if you had any concern this was going to be all like girl power, it's a little too low T for you. It just immediately he's like, I'm surprised he doesn't have this like his sweater taken off and like draped across him or whatever, like a little tennis racket just as like a prop so he can look cute or something. He continues to be incredibly gay for some reason.
Super important to his character.
I've got this down to a 4 out of 10. Quickly I headed down to a 3.5 out of 10. More? All right, more. Anyone else?
I'm surprised
thoughts?
he didn't talk about his boyfriend again because I'm surprised they didn't want to remind people that he's gay.
Oh, my boyfriend keeps calling me. Oh, this is like the 4th time my boyfriend's called. Oh my God.
It just goes to show how unnecessary that was and how just full-blown pandering that was.
Total pandering. I mean, I don't know if at some point that boyfriend is going to play a role, but until now, it just seems like they wanted to look at the audience and tell them this guy
Asian
is gay.
witch. Asian witch had to be like, I love your haircut, but I miss your mascara.
we don't need to be told that he's gay. And they get into the reason he can't talk is a sigil keeps him from speaking, and it's some like low level magic. Then dispel it. Then if it's like Agatha is just too like high and mighty to even worry about sigils.
She's lying. Obviously, she knows it's there's something there, so she's lying, keeping for herself. But like, it was just a cork. I wasn't gonna pop until later, but it's something.
She
obviously he's gonna be like Scarlet Witch's kid.
The Darkhold. I don't know. I don't know anything about this stupid ass Darkhold. Was that the whole point of WandaVision?
Yeah, it was the whole point of WandaVision.
Mephisto, finally mentioned by name in the MCU. I did not realize Mephisto was said. Pretty much this in Rings of Power, I just cannot like retain the information. I just like go full hard mode or something when I watch this. I don't know what's going on. My brain stops working. In the Rings of Power recap at the beginning of the episode, there were like 3 scenes where I said, I don't think I've seen this before. And I've definitely 100% seen it.
Oh, that was Mephisto supposed to be?
Apparently.
She threw the name out of several possibilities. He's going to be probably Wiccan, one of Scarlet Witch's kids.
Worried that he might be an agent of Mephisto.
Oh.
Yay. What I mentioned, the road will test everyone's fears and knowledge. So it's like this time it was her. They made a potion in the sink, and you had to do your dominant hand counterclockwise, and
Erwin,
Teen doesn't know what counterclockwise means.
Speaking of Teen, and if he is Wiccan, and we had Gun Home Mac point out that Wiccan is super gay, when people go, well, what does super gay mean? We mean that
I just want to suck a dick to see what it tastes like.
No,
right? That is the level that Wiccan is. Oh my God, that's right. I'm sorry, we forgot. My bad. Butterfingers. It was relevant to the conversation.
Badger, you prefer her with or without hair?
Oh my God, with. She became so much better with. I'm sorry, it works. This one it does not. But
I kept being like, who is this character every time I saw her? When normally I see her, I'm like, why? Blah, 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 personal history. Oh yeah, so I finally learned their names. Apparently there's an Alice, a Jennifer, and a Lilia. So, Jennifer, that is the bald black woman who I guessed I would never learn her name, but whenever I talk about how elven names or anime like Japanese names, I can't ever remember characters' names because they're so ridiculous. Just give them normal names like John and Jennifer. Jennifer's usually one of the examples I use for a name I can actually remember. The bald black woman's name is Jennifer. I know her name. I lost the bet. Jennifer. Has anyone called her Jennifer?
Well,
have you
Jennifer
heard Alice?
Collard Greens was a little on the nose, so Jennifer Kale is better.
Did someone say that? Oh, okay. Oh my God, you did the racism.
Saying it. You son of a bitch! Don't give anyone else credit for my fucking racist joke.
No, I was giving Agatha the credit for your racism.
It's delicious, by the way. Even cooked like collard greens, they're a little too bitter for my taste. Just have spinach. Yes,
I hate him
from the block.
I hate him so much. And might as well mention a certain someone did not appear in this episode whatsoever. So the best part, all like 2 minutes of decent part of her in episode 1. Yeah, we're never getting her. Oh my God, awesome. Yeah.
Look, Price, people are very happy you're here. Or shocked.
Shit. Yeah, well, we put him here, bring him on here to make us seem a little more make me seem a little more professional. Price, any closing thoughts on Agatha before we move on to something that wasn't terrible? No.
With Kale.
Yo, Pops.
Do I sound like a robot now?
No, you didn't sound like a robot before.
Did chat tell you did? You can't ever trust them, bunch of liars. Did we sound like robots?
He might be having internet.
He's gone. No, Price, come back. Oh no, we're gonna lose all of our chat now. Price is totally here. I'm just gonna ask him a question real quick. But first, let's talk about how much I love Edge of Tomorrow. After we talk about Yo Pops, keep the change. Yo Pops, you gonna be on Saturday?
Thanks, bro.
And his voice will sound robotic. Yes, he puts the pops in Yo Pops, and we love him.
Yeah,
name your gecko.
Fine.
Yes, well, we will get him back. I know he's going to come back because he's really going to talk about Edge of Tomorrow, one of my favorite movies. Totally holds up. Read the manga not that long ago. Actually manages to be better than the source material. Really enjoyed the manga. It ends though with him ending like the battle, where in Edge of Tomorrow they save the whole damn human race, and a certain someone does a lot of stretching. I bet. Oh man, I was gonna say I bet it shows up in these first ones. A certain someone does some stretching, and we're gonna find the picture of her real quick because you know what? We do love our strong women. Preferably, they be sexually harassed first, and then they can strong woman all they want. Or they can do straight. How? There we go. I knew it had to be in here somewhere. Or they could do this. This is also acceptable. Strong woman all you want right after this, Emily Blunt.
Yeah, Emily
Nah,
Blunt's
that's a
one of
good
those.
one.
Oh, there you go. He's back. Hi.
Am I back?
Yeah.
That was so weird, but I'm happy to be here again. Thank you.
Channel's under attack. Emily Blunt's here to save us, though, and I'm fine with it. I am fine. And it's one of those situations where, you know, if you don't know her backstory, all right, why she's Iron Bitch, how's she so good? And she's a little anime girl in this one, a little American anime girl in this one. But you pretty quickly find out she got stuck in the time loops. So when you're stuck in time loops, then it's like, okay, you're not some Mary Sue and whatnot. And also it's like gonna fudge you up in the head a bit too. You find out in this, she had to watch like her lover boy die over and over again. Couldn't save him and all that stuff. So you get why she's the full metal bitch or whatever it is.
She's hot too.
Yeah, and if Morphin Clark was hot, I'd add another half a point to Rings of Power.
If all those girl bosses were like these really attractive ladies coming out and looking super hot, I think that a lot of men would be somewhat forgiving. It's just that they want them to be not so hot. Even if one looks half decent, they want to make her look not hot, and they want to make them act really annoying. So all of this is not a good combination.
Correct. And then we get it enough times, we get that pattern recognition. So we just see strong woman, and even if it's done well, now we're just like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it.
Right. Now it's on our radar now. We know the second we see it, there's like bloop, bloop. Like we know exactly what's going on in every movie.
Yep. Warning. Yeah, like normally you'd see like a shot like this in a trailer and you'd be like, oh no.
By the way, you leave her butt chin alone. Her chin is fine. And yeah, that's what I just said before the stream, Bill. Like, she's not unattractive, but she makes some fucking ugly ass faces. And I don't know why they keep it in. And yeah, girl boss faces, whatever it is, where she's trying to be like tough or intimidating. It's just like, it's not good.
Yes, and then like so some of us are more sensitive to this stuff than others. Like Hayden, he's quite sensitive to all the woke stuff. Where some people who might not be as into politics can deal with a little more girl boss.
Well,
this is a good moment while I'm all fired up to talk about how I already love this movie, and then the second this gentleman shows up, who obviously I loved his character, I immediately went, no way, that's Bill Paxton. What? And turns out I love this movie even more. Holy Bill Paxton tears it up.
I
and
was
ABF,
instructed,
bro. Yeah, we might have something to play for you that's not like a Star Wars clip.
While you get the practical effects clip that he DM'd you and he wants us to play, ABF for 199, I was instructed to play this.
So yeah, Hypno had some rules.
You guys already know it's Dustborn, right? It's a Dustborn stream. So first and foremost, you got to tag Alec Baldwin's finger. All right. You
got to suffer with him.
And you got to tell him, get in here.
Only fair.
All right. He can't avoid the torture. He's got to get tortured with us. All right. So you got to tag Alec Baldwin's finger. All right. And tell him to get in here. That's number one. Rule number two. Need you guys to go tag
ABF?
Alec Baldwin's finger on Twitter.
Send to me again, ABF. I don't see it.
And tell him to get his ass in here.
Shut up. Just be quiet.
All right. He cannot be part of the torture. Okay. He's gotta be part of the torture.
Shake.
So go tag Alec
It's only
Baldwin's
fair.
finger.
Shake, what the hell?
Right? And tell him to get in here. All right. That's rule number two. And number three.
Also, DM me whatever you're talking about, ABF.
I need everybody to tag Alec Baldwin's finger on Twitter.
Oh, there we go.
You need to tag Alec Baldwin's finger on Twitter. You need to get him in
Tomahawk.
here. Okay. Get him in here. Because
so did he show because it ends with him trying to get him. Did you ever show up for this, ABF?
That's hilarious. So that was the whole clip of him just telling people to tag you.
Also, yeah, you want to read Tomok's while we let this play, which I believe played before.
For 20. First girl boss I saw was Nell Zelfer. She breaks you out of prison, and then when you are in no danger, then she is cool. Alex Vance, Half-Life 2. I love her.
This is going to sound crazy. Nerds like women. Crazy thought. We really like women. See, we are big proponents. Oh, wait, sorry. Proponents of women. As long as they've got axes and big boobas.
Yeah.
Price, you like women? You okay with them?
Yeah. Of course. That's what I like. I don't know what else I like except for that, but yes, I like it.
Yes, and when they kick ass and it actually makes sense, do you like seeing badass women as well?
Yes, and I can be forgiving even when it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If they're super hot, I can be forgiving sometimes. If they're not annoying and super hot and kicking ass, I think that I can be very, very generous.
Yeah, if Ico had been a little hotter, I'd have been all right with her 1v1ing that Terminator. But fortunately, she didn't pass.
Like this movie's the opposite of a Mary Sue or a Marty Stew. Like he works for it so hard and has to die in like the most horrific ways. Like character arc and like the various montages they do of him, trying to do stuff over and over again. Just works so well, and it keeps you excited even though they're repeating the day, you're excited the whole time, and he tries to different things, runs into certain roadblocks and whatnot. And then, like I said, where this ends with the battle, he starts going after the whole damn brain, and then he loses it at the end, the power, and he has one last life, and he has to go for the brain, and explosion, everyone wins. And then he wakes up at the end. And he goes and he sees her, and she's still doing her stretches. It's so fucking good.
You know what else I like? I always remember there was a story that Emily Blunt in an interview. Do you remember this? She said that while she was on the set of this movie and she had trouble with the costume and it had weight and she was working hard, then Tom Cruise just walked up to her and said, "Stop being such a pussy." And then she took it seriously and started working harder on set.
Yes. No, it's like when you tell someone, someone's like, "Oh, I'm depressed," and you say, "Yeah, well, have you tried just not being a little bitch?" And it's, and I see why depressed people not like that, but it does work for some people. Like,
she wasn't offended either. I mean, people were like having meltdowns. She wasn't offended by it. She said that it really made her work harder.
No, because then she goes on to tell about when he finally complained, and she says that his version of complaining is when they're sitting there in the drop ship and it's 100 degrees and they're waiting to drop, and she says something, he just went, "It's a challenge."
Because he is a professional, and he's all up in the stunts. And then obviously with like Top Gun and all that stuff, he makes it clear like he does it for the fans and whatnot. Like he cares. It's important to him to give us an experience, and you can just tell when people care about the stuff that they're either acting in or they're making, like a Bo DeMeo caring about stuff. Yes. But they actively do not want you to care about the thing you're working on.
Somewhere out there, Gooch smiled when you mentioned Bo. Also, Emily, along with Ellie Fanning and Ginny Ortega, said that they're tired of the girl boss, that they need nuance to their characters. Speaking of nuance,
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. So she's strong. She's a strong character, but there's a bunch of like layers of subtext to her. Hayden, you mad lad.
We need a clip for him. All we have currently have.
What's today's secret word?
I think this works well.
Have you ever heard the expression, "the customer is always right"?
Also,
anime has a satanic vibe.
So my eyes are on you. My eyes are on you, Hayden.
I just watched some really good anime yesterday, and I should watch The Dark Crystal, but I think I'm going to watch more anime. I have a problem. I'm turning into a weep. Price, you do any anime or manga or K dramas or anything like that?
I've occasionally maybe watched something, but I'm not a big viewer of that. Not because I don't like it. It's just that I haven't really gotten into it.
Gotcha. Badger's in the same position.
It's not that I don't like it. Like I've seen Ghost in a Shell. I don't know if that's considered anime. I mean, there have been things
very much so, yeah.
over time that I've watched that people said this is really great, and I don't know if that's anime. I saw The Boy and the Heron recently. Is that what's that considered?
Can you still hear him?
Am I still here?
Yeah,
Did
right there. I heard him.
I just lost him.
No, that was you. He said he just watched The Boy and the Heron. That's absolutely fucking anime.
I did not hear. Oh my god,
See,
I can't hear
Price,
him
it was never you. It was always him.
I guess it's him. But The Boy and the Heron I thought was interesting. And like I said, here and there I'll watch something, but I'm not like an avid anime viewer.
Yeah, it's Studio Ghibli, right?
Yeah, so that would be a very mainstream. I've got it on my list to watch again. I saw it sub and dub in theaters.
I'm super specific about what
Definitely
triggers me on anime, like what I can like and bear. And even then, it's like it's still not my preferred type of animation.
Yeah, and he needs something realistic. I get a lot of people don't like the ooh woo and all the weird like giant eyes and and like the tears
I know
everywhere.
It's not anime, but like I don't mind Teen Titans Go that does that dumb shit with the eyes, the exaggerated, which is super like that level.
Last Airbender,
Pokemon back in the day, Last Airbender. Yeah, I like all those.
But yeah, like my buddy, I got him in with like Hellsing. Like my buddy didn't like it, but he loves vampires, so I'm like, well, how about some Hellsing? And now he can tolerate some anime. As long as it's like a Castlevania or an Edge Runners. But that's how you get them. You get them.
Yeah. Right, it's a medium that you can have a bunch of different genre in that medium, and I'm just not that big of a fan of the medium most of the time.
What up, Tommy? All right. Ooh, Black Lagoon. All right, I might have to put it on the list of the shadow. Remind me again. All right. As much as I want to keep talking about Edge of Tomorrow, we have the Rings of Just Kidding Elevation. This trailer just popped. We're not really going to watch it, but it kind of reminded me of it a bit because it kind of looks a little bit like some Edge of Tomorrow. It looks like the Black Panthers in D&D that have the tentacle like tails. But it's basically post-apocalyptic thriller starring Anthony Mackie and Morena Baccarin. It's basically
Gooch is gonna fucking Morena Baccarin.
Upon a time, silent place, silent thing. What the fuck is the John Krasinski?
You said A Quiet Place.
Quiet Place. Yeah, it's like basically
Silent
one of
Place.
those.
Let me tell you about the Bollywood sequel. A Quiet Place. We are the silent place. Don't sue us. We said
already got the
quiet.
DEI spinoff. All right, I can't remember things. So it's basically another one of those movies. November 8th, which is like pretty soon, and this is the first I'm hearing it. The first trailer just dropped. I don't know if anyone's gonna be interested. Maybe I'll see it, but I don't.
Anthony Mackie is. Yeah, here's the thing. Wow, Bill, you took the fucking words out of my mouth. He seems like a really cool, fun dude, but goddamn, does he play a very similar character? Like he's Anthony Mackie in all of his roles. Anthony Mackie is Falcon. Anthony Mackie is a EOD expert, and whatever.
All right. What you've all been waiting for. Rings of Power Season 2 almost over. Also, I kept meaning to mention, I thought Agatha was 8 episodes. Apparently, it's 9.
Oh. And how much is Rings of Power? How many more episodes do I need to watch?
One more after this.
One more? Man, This one was tough. I mean, I wouldn't say that I fell asleep. I think that I watched it, but man, my heart wasn't in it. It's like there's other things going on that take my attention away from it. I'm sort of watching it, but it's really a chore. I think it was even more of a chore than Agatha.
Yeah.
Well, that was the big debate last night after was what's worse, Agatha, Rings of Power, or Acolyte? In mine, Acolyte, it just is by far the worst. I'm kind of back and forth on Rings of Power and Agatha. We need to see more Agatha first.
I think that
find worse.
Worse is that Rings of Power takes up more of my time because it's somehow long and boring. At least with Acolyte and the other one, they were relatively short, and there was enough stupid things that happened in it that I could somehow tell jokes to myself. But in Rings of Power, they're far and few between.
Hour 12. Anyone who still needs to watch it, hour 12.
I say Rings of Power is the worst, not because it's an hour, because it's the most destructive of the best quality of lore.
True.
And it's the worst of fuck. 50 years before the Phantom Menace, no, it's not hugely developed, and it's just all the dumb shit they did with Plagueis, whatever. It's just not. It's damaging, but it's easier ignored than just an hour of just pure ruination. Galadriel shouldn't be making out with Elrond even as a subterfuge.
I find myself the compliment I have been giving Agatha most is that it's quick. It finishes, and I'm like, oh, it's over already?
Yeah, like a bad lay. You're just happy that it's over.
So it moves quick. But of course, then you can't get into like story stuff or character stuff because it's just like bam, 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 bam. And then, on to the next trial. And I'm like, have you all been burned at the stake yet, please?
There's no cuddling after.
No. Just let me get this poison out and I'm out of here.
In pacing, you do have to have that 15 minute break of like resting and chilling. You can't have, bam, 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 bam. You gotta have those down moments. But I don't want to see their down moment. We practically had it with them sitting around drinking wine. None of these characters do I want to learn more about. I want Agatha to get sucked back into the world of True Detective, and I would prefer just a True Detective story.
You so don't want to talk about Rings of Power that you went back to talking about Agatha.
But we have to. Like I said, I tried.
Victim, Erwin.
I know. We'll be getting to that. I believe
tortured.
Professional post-it note number 2.
Fuck.
I tried not to take notes, but I got hit with Durin and Elrond finally have their big meetup, and I was like, there were 2 moments where I was like, are they about to kiss? And one of which was after Elrond says, my heart sings
to you.
To see you. My heart sings to see you.
I was almost going to take out a note and write it when he said that because it was such a stupid line. You did? It was it was like, my heart sings to see you. And I'm like, this is so CW.
I couldn't stop afterwards.
The CW of Tolkien, really.
What's like? Do they know we keep like making fun of the gay ship, like troll ship, and then they're like, that is a good idea.
Durin, my penis moves to see you, sir. It totally shifted. Hello.
To be fair, Durin's a 2-hander. All right, then we get to Kella Bimbo gets KO'd by a trebuchet, so the siege attack is going on. The invasion.
Bro, I thought he was gonna die.
Oh my god! He just walks down some stairs and then just gets smoked, and he goes flying has the wire pulled him or whatever. It's pretty great.
I like that he threw he threw that lady off the balcony, and then it was actually Sauron. That was so dumb. That whole thing. I kind of chuckled. I don't know if I was supposed to chuckle. I chuckled for some reason.
That was one of my hearty laughs that added an extra month to my lifespan. Was that?
Would you say that this was the gayest episode ever, Erwin? I mean,
it's the gayest invasion.
Would you say that this is the gayest show ever?
Isn't there a mouse? He figures out he's in a loop because he's being fooled because of a mouse or something.
And the gemstone was missing, and then when he finally breaks the window, it breaks the spell.
That was a moment I kind of liked, and they did that with the very beginning of Agatha, where they got Aubrey Plaza was going in. You had that little bit of mystery, and with that, there was a little bit of some decent dialogue, and then they kicked her right out, and then now Celebrimbor's right out. But his scene where he finally realized what was going on, okay-ish. There were several scenes that were okay-ish. This was by far the best episode of the season, in my opinion.
I almost think that maybe they brought Aubrey Plaza in for reshoots. I know that sounds weird because she's the only one that a few men may actually want to look at if they make her look sexy and do something interesting with her.
Yeah, that's what we're all saying.
And they gave her a poster where she looks good in the poster. So I almost feel like somebody said, "Can we just shoot a scene where she's here in this episode?" And then she'll arrive in the last one to say goodbye to Agatha or something, just so they could say that they had her. Not that it helps them. But go on. Sorry, Rings of Power.
Yeah, she's the only positive thing we could say, and now she's barely in it. So the only positive thing we can say is, well, at least it went by quickly.
I would have gotten rid of the entire cast, just brought her and make her a sexy witch, and try to do something cool with that. It doesn't seem like it's impossible. I mean, how difficult with about $100 million? You can't make some show that's not shit.
Yeah, Agatha, Teen, and Aubrey. Just have the three people. and then have some side people here and there or whatever. But if you've done the 3 main characters, they actually could have done some backstory and stuff. Like when they're doing backstory now, I'm not even realizing we're getting backstory, and they've got so many characters. Whereas I talk about like the Breakfast Club. That first 2 minutes when they show up to the school and they sit down, you know everyone's personality. You know, like the entire character, other than, we find out little secrets there at the end or whatever. But they set it up in 2 minutes perfectly. The characters aren't set up at all. They make fake candles and whatnot. And, they got their power taken away. I'm like, then that's it. Oh, you want to go get it back? Come with me. And none of it's compelling to me whatsoever. Which... Rings of Power also not particularly compelling. Sauron makes him throw the blonde bitch off ramparts. We already discussed that. It was great. Here's a bit of a spoiler. If you haven't seen it, you're going to be mad. Elrond and Galadriel. Badger, you want to tell them what happens with Elrond and Galadriel?
I just wanted to explain to Lady Arryn that it's the dark features and the attitude, not necessarily the looks and the body.
It's a big part of guys. I actually do care about personality and good personalities, and that's what I'm saying. Like nerdy chicks, we love nerdy chicks, and the whole we hate is insane. We'll bend over backwards for them.
Yeah.
Simp. Yeah. All right, basically, Badger, tell them. Rip the Band-Aid off.
About Galadriel.
Elrond and Galadriel. What happens?
Yeah. So Elrond, in a ruse to slip her a pick to get out of her cuffs, makes out with her rather than just going in for a nice hug. And it's super played, and you could tell it was more than that. And I had to explain to or just clarify again that a little bit after this is when Elrond is supposed to meet Galadriel's daughter and fall in love with her, and then 1,000 years later get married and have twins, and fucking Arwen is the third kid. So yeah, a little weird that he's kissing his future mother-in-law, and they never had a romantic anything together.
And
should be married to Celeborn right now.
Beyond the lore breaking, it's also cringe. And these two actors, this Doogie Elrond and this Galadriel actress, all of this doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
And at least with Agatha, when it doesn't work, it knocks it. It doesn't work quickly. Whereas this drags all of the not working out.
True.
And the fighting is not good. Honestly, Puerto Rican Elf is the only one that tried to fucking studied his fighting.
He's so random. They did not know what to do with his character at all once they got rid of the girl.
Was decent with his spear fucking thing. He had some fight movements.
Oh, with his Darth Maul double-sided blade.
But everyone else, it just doesn't look good.
You complained about the combat, but the horse combat was awesome, especially when the horse, I believe it was Elrond was on it, jumps up
he did a
and
double
then
splits.
Donkey kicks backwards. Does a jumping donkey like Karate Kid? Mr. Miyagi taught him this fucking.
According to the trades, the lady that was with Don Lemonless or whatever he's referred to, so that lady was basically, she decided supposedly she wanted to leave the show. She didn't want to be on the show anymore, which is funny because there's a few actors that have decided that they didn't want to be on this show.
Adar as well.
Right, they had to recast him. I mean, imagine you're on this big,
liked him.
the most expensive. You're on the most expensive show of all time for Amazon, and you're like talking to your agent and trying to get out of it. It's probably not a good sign.
Bronwyn said she had to go back to Iran. So think about that. A woman would rather go back to Iran than fucking stay and film this show. Okay.
Yeah. And one of the biggest IPs in history, in the Western world, and all the money you could ever ask for. And she's like, I'll take Iran, please.
In all seriousness, she went back because of political strife in Iran, and she thought she had to go and make a difference. She had family, blah, blah, blah. So patriotism aside, which I do respect, she fucking would rather go deal with that than stay on this show.
And since she got written out, Don Lemonless has no story whatsoever this season.
Love interest.
And they just randomly throw him in the fight. When he showed up, I'm like, wait, he's here? When did he get here?
He got humbled.
Him and Morphid have a brief moment or something, or I don't fucking I looked away. I look away for half a second and I miss everything. All right. Horse jumps up. So good. Elrond whoops up on an orc who, I think you're supposed to feel bad for the orc. He gets knocked into the trebuchet, rocks, And then Elrond shoots him off with the trebuchet and he slams into the wall, which was hilarious. And one of the other moments I laughed really hard. But then when he hits the ground, they put like a sympathy shot on him where like the orc looks sad because as you find out, oh no, the orcs are dying and the orcs are sad because they have humanity and we're supposed to feel bad.
I was more upset about the fucking horse than anyone else in this episode.
Is that the one that died?
Yeah, the one that like he gets Elrond gets knocked off his horse and he turns around this little fucking cheap
and the guy stabs
fucking horse killer kills his horse behind him. Yeah.
When that happened, I was like, people are going to be most mad about that.
Dude, that's like Battlefield shit 101. You don't fucking go after the other horses. That's
this gets into it. Adar, you told us you loved us. That's an orc saying, you told us you loved us. Papa Adar, you said you loved us.
Oh, hi, Mo.
Fuck you. All right, sorry. Adar cries for a dead. As Galadriel watches, Adar bends down and cries for the dead orc. Jesus fucking Christ. All right, so
horse lives do matter. Horse lives do matter.
Yes.
In Red Dead Redemption,
more than human lives.
If you have max level at the second one, there's a certain scene where your character will pay respect to your horse because horse lives matter. Especially in games and TV shows, you have to build a rapport.
Witcher, certain Roach, certain Henry Cavill.
Henry tried to explain that.
Actually likes the source material. All right. Finally, we had a good moment. Durin is about to leave with the army to help the elves. But his dad went to go wake up the Balrog, basically. So he can't leave. He's torn. Do I stay here and protect my people, or do I go help my lover, Elrond? And we finally had like a moment where there's like a really tough choice and there's like world-changing consequences and stuff like that. Could have been a really good moment if it wasn't in Rings of Power.
Gotta help your bros. Durin is coming. Durin is coming.
I mean, honestly, as much as we like to make fun of their gay relationship, they do have one of the better like character relationships in the story. Not
at least there's some camaraderie or something, I guess.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's the best actor, Durin, for sure. One of the better actors. Which I also realized he does a lot of those dwarf stares that because he got the big nose and the thing that would look stupid if we did it, but it looks good. He's got it down.
He did his whole speech and the words he said was terrible, but he delivered it pretty well. But then you thought about like the light and the darkness and you're like, oh, you're just talking tart.
Even Disa, I don't think is the worst actress. I don't think that those two, I don't think are the worst actors on this show, honestly.
I'm glad you mentioned her because this is another part I had a good laugh at.
They give her, they give her stupid things to do and it's total cringe. But I think the actress, even if I don't like her in interviews, I still think that the actress is not terrible if somebody gave her a decent script.
I agree. And she was one of the people we were most worried about, and she ended up being a lot of people's that thought she was the best actress. Which, yeah, agreed.
She knows how to act. I mean, if you give her a role that's not this shitty thing, I'm sure she's a decent actress.
Don't you understand that this is one of the first female black dwarves ever, and that she is saving lives?
But that's all the people that I liked in season 1 forgot how to act in season 2, but in this episode finally a couple of them remember how to act again, hence why I say best episode so far of the season.
Sorry, to Night Saber. And I would bet my vital anatomy parts that Henry is not going forward with anything to do with Amazon. You're more likely to hear him teaming up with Saber and Space Marine 2 DLC than anything
him as a skin,
because I can see that in a second as him being added as a skin, because he was already talking about loving the PvP and having things he would want changed, but he doesn't know anything about game development, so that would be an easy win for the fuck you, Amazon. Henry, dear boy. Yeah,
is that dead, that project? What happened?
They have until 4 days. They have until the end of September to announce that they're going forward, they're putting it on another delay, or that it's. And the last we heard is all the female custodies that was done to get women in power armor, and then they couldn't sell Space Marines. And Henry, who's had this shit written since he was a kid, I don't think he's going to capitulate. So I think it's going to stale out. He's got a kid and he's got Highlander coming out.
So that is how you keep fans happy. Alternatively, you could have Sauron try to get sympathy because Morgoth treated him badly. do you know what it's like being tortured by God? So everything I do is perfectly cool. And the like gaslighting was like so blatant. Even Calabimbo was finally like, okay, something's going on here.
Bly said this
I saw
in
that
a
mouth
Russian
do the same
accent. Did you see this? Because if he said is make and it's
Make my
misspelled, but
retards
he said
for
rings
retards.
of power is make my retards for retards. And there you go. It works.
You truly are the great deceiver. You deceived even yourself.
That's a good line.
One of those lines where it's like, if you could have just done, not the best line, but if you could have just done that quality of line for like 80% of the dialogue, we'd be having totally different conversations about Rings of Power.
Yeah. By the way, it's not confirmed that he's not doing it. It's just, I just think it's highly unlikely based on everything we've heard. And we'll find out soon. They're going to have to announce something.
Yeah.
I hope he gets one project that's decent and that there aren't any problems with it. He keeps getting screwed over. I don't understand why. They just could have given him one thing and not screwed him over.
Fourth time it's happened in different
if we
things.
have him in the Justice League, but he's dead for most of it. Celebrimbor, whose will is the mightier? And then motherfucker chops his thumb off so he could get out of the handcuffs. Actually, like a half decent moment, like people finally having to like make tough choices, and there's like actual consequences and stuff. At one point, when Galadriel is all chained up and whatnot, she tells Elrond, "You should have kept charging." Where she's like, "This matters more than my life," and I'm like, "Wait." She's not just a selfish bitch obsessed with only herself and her like Sauron obsession. She was actually willing to like sacrifice herself for a bigger cause.
Adar says basically the same thing. He's like, I thought you loved us, Adar. He's like, I do. With all that's left of my heart, far too much to see you be slaves of Sauron. I'd rather see you fucking die on this march than see you become slaves. So let's get it done, people.
That's what a lot of the episode was, because they were human. There's the one that has the family when they're all charging. He kind of like stays back because he's like afraid to fight or die. That's not an orc. And we were just proves we're right about the orc families and how they're trying to humanize them and all that stuff. What's all saying?
Lilith, I believe at the end he was supposed to. Aragorn was supposed to fight a physical form of Sauron, and you can even see the previs of it, and then that was switched out to that big troll that he ends up fighting. But he was supposed to fight a physical manifestation that at that point he had enough power to recoalesce or whatever, but they were like, no. I sort of would have liked to see that, but it's in the name, Gooch. Manscape. I bet you better be nice, high and tight for tonight. Didn't mean that to rhyme.
Looking good. All right. So we had another moment that could have been good.
Racist.
Galadriel saves Celebrimbor from whatever, getting like arrested. Yeah, from getting arrested with the worst acting ever. Could have been a good moment. Could have been a good scene. But instead, you have Morfydd Clark and just ruins it. All right, we got to keep going. Asian DEI elf gets turned into an absolute pincushion. Bitch has got like 6 arrows in her. So what does she do? She pulls an arrow out, catches it on fire, shoots it, looks around, and lets like everyone gives the like, I'm a strong woman. Shoots it into like a pot of tar, I'm guessing. Nuclear explosion.
You remember You remember Boromir?
Oh my, holy fuck, Lady Aaron. I
remember Legolas doing things with the arrow. You remember Legolas with the bow and arrow?
Oh my god.
Yeah, they hit every moment they can to make you remember shit.
All right, blah blah blah. Sauron makes.
She really is.
Oh, when okay, so they go to arrest Sauron. He's got 6 elven guards around him, and he makes them all like turn to each other and then stab each other. I'm like, okay, it shows like his power levels, like just because normally he gets his way just with words, but it's like now he finally has to use a little bit of violence, and it's like, oh shit, dude is OP, and if you've like believed in him like at all, he can control you. Right, that's why Galadriel can't go.
I think if you let him in, you let him whisper. If you in one moment believe what he's saying. Also, Gooch, remember, don't show smear. Don't show fear. They can smell it, and just keep your back against the wall at all times. I think if you just like he said, you think you were the only one that like listened to my whispers, basically.
we have yet to have a moment that showed his power, like why he was such a threat, other than just being like manipulative. You finally realize that, oh, you get past the manipulation and you try to stand up to it, he gonna nuke your ass. Could be a good moment. And he finally, because Sauron was one of the people in season 1 that was okay at times. And finally, for the first time this season, he was okay at a few times. Thank God. Elrond chops a rope with his sword. Pretty thick rope. It sparks 4 times. I don't know about swords. Tomac, you still in? When you hit a rope with the sword, does it spark?
Here's the thing. If this was a normal dude with normal and it's that thick, spark? Man, it depends on what that... No, probably not. Either way, I was more of how many times it took to cut that goddamn rope with an elven blade.
Oh, yeah.
And like they have like samurai level, like, bro, he would have been able to like 1 or 2 at most, but that just goes to all the actors. They were swinging baseball bats and shit.
Sparks. Credit music. Did you listen to the credit music at all?
There, July was singing it.
It's dwarven metal. That's what I assumed they were going for. Price, did you enjoy the dwarven metal?
Yes, it was great.
Better than Disa singing, I would argue.
They're like, what the fuck was that? Bats come and attack you.
That was her
Batman move.
She spent 2 mana point to do summon bats.
Yeah. Oh my God.
All right. Any final thoughts? We have one more episode. Thank God. Any final
made
thoughts?
Out of the hair of an ice troll. Yes.
Okay. There are certain things I didn't mention because I didn't want to go too spoiler, but we did have a troll, and the fact that it took like 5 or 6 people to bring it down, like as a team, and like multiple wounds, really shows the Galadriel doing 1v1ing and doing 2 attacks to bring him down.
B-Man, I want you to say this warms the cockles of my heart, the inner chambers. The second and the third ventricle just warms it right up.
Yeah. Drinker doesn't have tinfoil hats. He's not a professional like we are. Khazad-dûm, Khazad-dûm, Khazad-dûm. All right, blah, blah, blah.
That's a good cheer.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Oh, it was
Gone too
Marvel's
soon.
Katie. It's Marvel's Katie.
Yes. No, it's not.
Yeah, that's Marvel's Katie. Of course it is.
That's Marvel's Katie's Aquafina, isn't it? No. So, long story short, guys, it was a 7 out of 10.
Really?
Man on... according to Collider. Man on
more
fire.
6 out of 10.
The first act character development between Denzel and Dakota Fanning, where at first he like doesn't want anything to do with her, like, I'm not here to be your friend, I'm here to be your bodyguard. And then by the time she gets kidnapped, she's like practically like a daughter to him and whatnot. So freaking well done, Squawk. Yes.
She's like Asian DMX. Squawk, squawk, squawk.
Yeah, some good actors in it as well. Dakota Fanning, I totally see why she got so many, because good child actors are so rare, and she did a really good job. Credit to her.
She's still a good actress too, thankfully.
Yeah, she was like the perfect amount of adorable, but she also said like smart things that she's smarter than she should be. The whole situation. So like genuinely cared when she got kidnapped. Whereas when you watch like something from Marvel, if it was a girl that could be kidnapped, we'd be like, just chop her head off.
She's good in that movie, The Watchers, even though that movie goes like fucking sort of off the rails at the end, but like not necessarily in the bad way. Just it's nice to see her still get work and not be horrible. Unlike, Haley Joel Osment, who what's he doing?
Price of reason. Thoughts on putting C4 up criminals' butts?
Sometimes you gotta use some aggressive tactics.
Yeah,
this is a great movie, by the way.
Yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and as I watched it because I wanted some Denzel, and I very much so got some Denzel. Motherfucker takes 5 shots to the chest, no bulletproof vest, and he's like, I'm good. I'm going to use more. Get shot in the chest again when he comes back for seconds. So I was a little sad because it's based on true stories, so they couldn't give the ending I wanted. But he ends up trading himself and one of the bad guys for the little girl. And then they're driving away at the ending, and he had more C4. So I was waiting for it to do the shot to go out and show the car explode. But sadly, it's like real life. But that makes it like even better because it's like he got tortured like crazy after that, and he was willing to do that. And like, of course, it's like Lethal Weapon style, where at the beginning he's got that special bullet that didn't go off, so you get that like deeper part to it. He's got a reason to live. So he's got to save her. She's the whole reason to live. And
well, if you like this, the Equalizer 3 is sort of a reunion of sorts.
Yeah.
All right, it's going on the list. I've been needing to Equalizer.
I really like the Equalizer movies.
I haven't seen any, and my thought was start with 3. Would you say starting with 3 is acceptable?
You just saw the best version of it.
Okay.
He's like the same fucking character in all those movies. This is just the best version of it.
Probably, but I would say that I would start with 1. 2 isn't that great, but I like 3. So I guess the second one is sort of a sophomoric dip. What do they call that one?
Yeah, is that the movies that
sophomore slump,
like the Walmart basically, or the Home Depot type
What's
shit?
that?
The
Also,
Home Depot one is good. I like that one.
So I got these, and then I got these, and about right there-ish, I have American Gangster as well, as officially added to the list.
The third one's like a Western, like in Italy, basically. Shows up to a small town.
Awesome.
All
I really
right.
liked it.
Yeah.
Okay, they're starting now. Let me blast through. John Wick Ballerina spinoff trailer is here. Doesn't look the worst, but Last of Us 2, or Last of Us Season 2 trailer out. Game everybody's playing, we'll have to talk about tomorrow. Pokemon Company, DEI Social Responsibility Consultant. Yay! If you don't like Ghost of Yotei, don't buy it. That never goes well. Apparently, we're fucking tourists for not liking Rogue Fail Card.
I got videos coming out of those last 2. We'll probably talk about a lot of this tomorrow also, as well as Cal Kestis coming to Disney Plus. It's probably happening. Scooper's saying it is. Teases for tomorrow.
Wild Robot, 98% Rotten Tomatoes. All right, Badger, plug more stuff.
Yeah, teases for tomorrow for all those things we really didn't get to. Cal Kestis coming to Disney Plus, David Gator attacking Dragon Age fans, all that fun stuff. Pre-FNT tomorrow. Tonight, we're finishing Terminator on Gooch's channel, Terminator 0. And then, pre-FNT tomorrow. And then Inside the Badger Den tomorrow night with Steph from my nerdy home, Gooch, Erwin, Mr. Tekrat. Hopefully, you guys will all be there.
Ooh, I love you, man. Guess what? No buts behind it. Thank you very much. Badger, you know I still hold you down.
With
consent?
No. I know what he meant
for you. I never would
yes. Yeah, I got you. I got you too, bro.
Bryce, do some plugging.
Oh, my channel, Price of Reason. I did a review for Transformers 1, and some people are upset about it, so you should check it out.
Because you liked it, or you did? Yeah, I guess we'll find out. Go over there and check it out.
I mean, I had my criticism of it, and then one person wrote me some weird comment. They're like, how could you review it? It's a kid's movie. I don't know. I'm not allowed to review a movie because first of all, it's a Transformers movie. There's adults that like Transformers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Price,
Transformers, G.I. Joe, all that shit.
I can't believe you're reviewing Rings of Power without being an elf. Come on. How dare you? We will see you all tomorrow. You guys are super supportive today. What the hell? Love you guys.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know. Hello.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Good, then get the hell out of my life. Who needs you? Beat it. Leave me alone.
I needed to get rid of the human garbage, otherwise known as my best friends.
Oh!
Come on! Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
Well, bye.
If we're not back by dawn, call the president.
I'm pressing buttons. I try to type stuff. You guys are the best. Miss you guys.
So
what button do I press? This button?
You are a good friend.